hold up on Jets, Aaron? What's the holdup on Jets, Aaron Rodgers? Is it just Brian Gutekunst thinking the two that's on the table from Joe Douglas might magically turn into a one if they just hold Braveheart style all the way to the end of the draft, even into Friday night, go through Thursday night with nothing happening? Is that really the way that Gutekunst is playing it, or there's another holdup that we're unaware of? What do you got?
There just hasn't really been a pressure point yet, Rich. The next one's going to be that week of the draft, because the moment you go beyond this draft, now if the Packers say we're not taking the best offer from the Jets, you're downgrading your pick by a year by pushing them out into 24 and 25 instead of 23 and 24. Mm-hmm. So the Jets, to a certain degree, have the leverage right up until the draft. If you get beyond the draft, now you're into a completely new phase of all this. So they're not totally on different pages right now. There were multiple discussions at the league meetings between Joe Douglas and Brian Gutekunst. I think that there's an acknowledgement on everybody's front, and I was in on that small media gathering with Gutekunst where we talked to him for about a half hour. I've obviously seen the quotes from Joe Douglas most recently saying he's going to be here. Woody Johnson cautiously optimistic about that scenario as well. Everybody wants the same thing. I think that's the part you can't lose here. This is not they're at odds, and it's not in this regard the Brett Favre saga from 2008 where Favre wanted to come back and play for the Packers, and the Packers in essence said it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, as Mike McCarthy once said, the train had left the station. In this case, the Jets plainly want Aaron Rodgers to be a Jet. Aaron Rodgers has said publicly he wants to be a Jet, and the Packers, as Gutekunst explained it, pivoted right around the time of the darkness retreat in late February, early March, where they had made many efforts to get a hold of Aaron Rodgers to try to have conversations about him. And this is something, Rich, we talked about on game day morning all the way back on Super Bowl Sunday, which was if Aaron Rodgers wanted to be a Packer, the Packers wanted him to be back, subject to additional conversations about what that looks like. And that's related to the roster, that's related to game plan, that's related to all these other things to continue talking after they had productive conversations right after the season. Those conversations never took place, as Gutekunst explained it, because Aaron Rodgers did not engage. And Gutekunst said, well, that's not necessarily one person's fault, but it's a fairly plain message, which is that we wanted to talk to Aaron. We wanted to sit down with him and figure out if there's a path forward. Once Aaron tacitly made his intentions clear, we had to move on. So at this point, the Packers also want to get the best deal possible for Aaron Rodgers and move forward with Jordan Love. I tend to believe, just because there's a vested interest for everybody in this being resolved to the same end, which is Aaron Rodgers being a Jet and the Packers, rallying around Jordan Love, that this gets done right around the time of the draft. There's a lot of reasons for it to get done. But at the same time, at this point, the Packers have had a principled stance on what they think this trade should look like. The Jets have also stood relatively firm in terms of what they think this should look like. And I know, Rich, there have been different scenarios, different structures of a trade that have been discussed. That's another part of this here. There's different ways that this can go and conditions and everything else. If we get beyond the draft, then the Jets will be in a place where, okay, Aaron can take all of his receivers and go work out in California. That's fine. We'll have basically 9-on-7 in OTAs here. And the Packers will go, okay, well, we'll continue dragging this out, see you around the start of training camp. I mean, that's where we go into this whole
this is crazy. Just get it done.
Where there's not a lot of precedent for any of this happening. That's why, again, it makes the most sense for this to get done before the draft. But the hang-up right now, Rich, is just they're not quite on the same page with the draft compensation, and they've not yet had that pressure point where anybody necessarily feels the highest level of urgency to get the deal done now.
Catch.
Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys, as well as you ladies. You know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. This is the quiet before the storm. And, wait. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Let's do the mic check.
Mic sound nice, check one. My mic sound nice, check two. My mic sound nice, check three. Are you ready?
Are you ready? Mike, how you doing, man? I was gonna say you look. I did take a cat nap before the show. You know, you're getting old when you got to take a cat nap. I took a 15-minute cat nap, and I feel good. I know you were watching TV about the VHS retro tapes and all that because I was hearing it while I was sleeping. But maybe you should try cat naps. Are you getting old like me? Okay, all right. But see, I feel pretty good right now. So you tired, huh? All right. Well, we got to head back to Waynesboro tomorrow. We got a lot of work to do, man. We got a month and a half to try and get that thing done. No? Yes? No comment? All right. Well, let me say hello to Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? In here early along with Stacy Schubert having a conversation. What's up, Stacy? How are you doing? And Beto is back. Fuck the Eagles. Shout out to Beto. Mike, Mike, have you really been keeping up with the Cowboys in the offseason? I know you've been busy, with with Dan Gina, with electrical and stuff at the Red Brick House and, the gig economy and stuff. Have you really been holding, and caring about the Cowboys right now, or are you just waiting till training camp?
Talking about Odell?
Oh, man. You know what?
He got the most money out of all wide receivers because wide receivers are getting $11 million. At max.
I'm okay that we did not. I mean, I think there were 3 wide receivers over 30 years of age that had 1,000 yards last year. 3.
It wasn't no doubt.
And I don't think any of them are coming off of back-to-back, ACL surgeries on the same knee.
No, they botched the first one.
Well, I'm saying, but he had 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, because they botched the first one.
Right.
And the best night for him was to re-injure it and get it corrected the right way.
You know what I kept
right way.
You know what I kept thinking about when they botched the knee surgery, and I'm not wishing on that because I've had 5 or 6 myself, and it doesn't seem to get better when they work on it. But you ever see those people that they have those shows about, people that go get too much plastic surgery and they do a surgery to fix the last surgery and it just seems like it just gets worse and worse. And so I'm just kind of like, are we expecting Odell to now be 1,000-yard receiver again? Or are we expecting that this was really not about getting a receiver as it was to try and appease Lamar Jackson? To say, Lamar, hey, Lamar, man, we care about winning.
But no one's calling for him.
What, for Odell?
No, I'm talking about for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, so that's where they figure.
No one's calling for Lamar.
Look, hey, at least we got you a playmaking wide receiver. But see, here's the problem with Odell going to Baltimore. If he had gone, what's up, Ruben? How are you doing? Carolina Cowboys, crazy Corvette in the house.
Ruben,
Twiz Digger. We had a great Easter. I got to see my sister, who lives, in another state and stuff. So, we see her a couple times a year, and got a chance to have dinner together and do some work on in the garage and just hang out and just, it was good. It was good, Twiz.
Get caught up.
No, we ain't caught up, man. I'm still so far behind. There's just not enough hours in the day, dog. It's just not enough hours in the day.
At least we got what we needed cut.
Now I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, but the problem for Odell going to Baltimore is it's like Alvin Harper.
Is it
going from the Cowboys to Tampa Bay?
Is this like what's his name? Des Bryant, because they signed Des Bryant.
Well, no. See, I don't. Okay, now DMV gonna get mad at me because that was one of his coaches and stuff about Alvin Harper, and I don't mean disrespected Alvin Harper, but Alvin Harper, you couldn't tell anybody when he was with the Cowboys that he wasn't a great receiver. The way he would go across the middle, you were like, oh snap, and he got paid big time to go to Tampa Bay as a free agent. And the problem is he went from being, the number 2 guy, being a Scottie Pippen, to having to be Michael Jordan. And he didn't have Michael Jordan in him. And he failed. But of course, the Washington Commanders, back then, the Redskins, they said, oh, no, we'll get that guy. And he did the same thing. He stole money from them too. And so the problem for Odell going to Baltimore is he's expected to be the guy, the number one guy. I don't think he has that in his body anymore. I honestly don't. So I don't think that that's going to be a great move right there for that money. But, you know, it's a 1-year deal where they put some voidable years where they can spread it out a bit. So, you know, we'll see how that works out for him.
He's not getting the guarantee. The guarantee money. I can tell you that right now.
Well,
he ain't getting 18.
Well, he'll get the guarantee, but we don't know if he'll get a max on it. But what
max,
we're told is that Lamar Jackson also was part of this of recruiting him. So, and they say that because that he had to get some assurances that Lamar was going to be back. He wasn't going to just sign to have Joe Schmo throw to him.
Yeah,
that he wanted to work with.
Not as good as Lamar.
Right. Alan Williams, are you behaving? Are you behaving, Alan Williams? I'm going to have to talk to Joseph Heatherly now. Okay? You know his mom said you need to behave. Okay? Marcus Blackman. Odell made the move for financial reasons. Well, definitely. And the Ravens made it for trying to hold on to their quarterback reasons. So I'm glad. I am glad. You know,
at least he got more than
I had a crow that used to sit right here. I don't know if anybody had noticed it. But I threw the crow over here because if we had signed Odell, I said I was going to have to eat crow. I couldn't find actual crow, meat, and I don't have a gun where I could go out hunting for crows. I don't know if that's legal or not, in where I live. But I was prepared to eat that crow if we had signed with Odell.
That boy ain't going to sign up for
I'm just saying. Well, we know that.
For that kind of money.
But this is interesting because Odell is the first shoe to drop because there's still DeAndre Hopkins out there, okay, who you got to give up some draft compensation as well as some cash for.
The Cowboys waiting for his price to go down.
Well, here's my thing.
That's what we're waiting for.
Well,
some
people think, well, the Cowboys, we're done with, we're good on receivers, right? We got Brandon Cooks. Michael Gallup's going to be back in shape. We got CeeDee Lamb. We're good. We're good. And besides, Mike McCarthy said, I just want to run the football.
Then why'd you get rid of Zeke Elliott then?
I just want to run the It's like,
why'd you get rid of Zeke?
I'm like,
why'd you get rid of Zeke?
And this also brings me, see, this conversation is actually full circle on a couple of different things, okay? Because we started this conversation yesterday with the live stream, and I want to continue it a little bit more. Because we had Dak Prescott last year literally throwing to guys that could not start on other teams.
And we want
Seriously.
We want a playoff game.
Noah, is Eastside in here? I know Eastside has got history. I can't think of the term, but I know he's going to say that Noah Brown's a good receiver. Oh, Noah Brown's a good guy, and he's going to tell you that Brandon Cooks is trash. That's what Eastside's going to tell you.
Noah Brown lose a game in overtime because he didn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
a game that actually meant something.
Yeah, that was a
meaningful game.
But here's my thought process here, because when I look at the Cowboys receiving, Michael Gallup and Noah Brown were like outside of the top 100. Outside of the top 100. CD, he was top 10. Okay, you had one good guy.
That's not enough.
Well, and that's the thing. But they say, well, Dak Prescott, he needs those guys. But I dare say,
we did win a playoff game.
I dare say that he's not the only one, because I look at Aaron Rodgers from last year versus the year before when he had Devontae Adams. His rating dropped by 20 points without Devontae Adams. Having players makes a difference. So I was going through here because Mike McCarthy, I just want to run the damn ball. I think that was more about wanting to bitch slap Kellen Moore. Because let's look at something here. This is 2011 when they won the Super Bowl. Okay, they won the Super Bowl in Dallas.
That's why they won the Super Bowl.
And it was one of those ones where hell froze over too, because
If you
there was the ice
No.
storm there before the game.
Yeah, but if you believe in conspiracies, they would have won anyway in our house anyway. They have the highest winning percentage in our house.
Well, true. All right.
Dak Prescott never beat Green Bay in our house.
So here's the thing that's interesting. Let's look at the statistics here. So Mike McCarthy says, all I care about is winning, which is good. I don't care about having the number one offense. I want to run the damn ball. That's what he said, right?
Well, can we have the number 2 offense then?
But we've always had. I mean, basically, even Kellen Moore.
I'll take the number 2 offense.
But it's when you get those yards and things. Sometimes their garbage time is, Shannon Sharp will say.
Hey.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's interesting.
It's good for DraftKings.
Is
garbage time.
When you looked at Green Bay that year, okay? That year that they won the Super Bowl, they were first in points, third in yardage, right? They were 14th in pass attempts, but 3 in yards, first in TD passes, okay? First.
And I said in our house, not Green Bay.
No, it was in our house.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Because he had to beat Green Bay.
They were
in our house
26th in rushing attempts, 27th in yards. That's it. They didn't run the foot. The running was like taking out the trash. I don't want to take out the trash, but I don't want to listen to my wife bitch about the trash not being taken out. I got to do it.
I don't want to see the flies.
And that's where it is with Mike McCarthy. Look, let's look at the statistics of the guys on the field, okay? And this is the thing that's kind of crazy when I look at the receiving core. I mean, look, even Matt Flynn had a 67% completion percentage at 518 yards and 6 TDs. Matt Flynn was slinging the rock. And you might remember most of those yards came against us, I believe, when we were leading 26-3, and Jason Garrett decided to pass the ball more than the Green Bay Packers in the second half that were trying to catch up. But be that as it may, I digress.
That's Jason Garrett, though.
But here's the thing. Take a look at the receiving core here. You had, let's see. Oh, well, before let's go back to the rushers. Ryan Grant was their leading rusher, had 559 yards. James Stark actually had more yards. Excuse me. James Stark had 578 yards.
About 20 more yards.
Right. They had 3 rushing touchdowns between them. So where is this Mike McCarthy, I just want to run the football? Aaron Rodgers was third leading rusher with 257 yards.
Whoa.
So there was nothing about that Super Bowl team that did. But take a look at the receiving core that he had. He had a young Randall Cobb, okay? Randall Cobb was actually one of the worst receivers that he had because he was young. 375 yards, right? He had Jordy freaking Nelson, who was in his heyday, with 1,263 yards. He had Greg Jennings, okay? Greg Jennings had almost 1,000. James Jones.
Who?
James Jones, another one. Look, James Jones had 635. And they had Donald Driver, who was a great receiver in his twilight. Donald Driver had more yards than Michael Gallup as their fifth option. Everybody on there had more yards than our number 2 guy. They had 5 guys that could catch the football. They didn't run the football. So where is this where Mike McCarthy's offense needs Bijan Robinson?
He's trying to kick Kellen Moore where it's kicking low.
Well, that's, yeah.
Because Kellen Moore did not believe in running.
The game against Green Bay, we are passing and not running the ball. Hey, Mark, this is David from Edmond, Oklahoma. Question: who do you think we should draft as the 26th pick? I'm thinking the offensive line. Okay,
I wouldn't mind defense.
I would. I still don't see the starting left guard on our roster. We've had a problem at left guard for a long time, and I would love for us to be able to take care of that. That's my take. Okay. The Cowboys are in a position to take the best player available, and as they should. I just hope that we can take care of the offensive line. The thing that I find funny is
we need another Smith.
Yeah, another Tyler Smith.
If you can find someone like him, I'm good in the first round. That's ready to start.
Yeah, you know what though? I hear what you're saying, Travis, but I'll ask you this. What running team is winning the Super Bowl? We've seen Travis Henry in Tennessee. That's the running team. They've been number one seeds, but they haven't been able to do it.
Who's Travis Henry?
I mean, Derrick Henry. I was talking to Travis and thinking Derrick Henry, okay? I told you I was tired. Damn.
But Derrick Henry might not even be on the team.
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's the thing. We talk about running the football. We don't have teams that are just 3 yards in a cloud of dirt anymore.
Wants him.
And nobody wants Eckler either. Nobody wants Zeke.
Well, not right now. But they might after the draft.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But right now,
not right now.
Right now, nobody wants.
You could draft somebody for cheaper than their contracts. You can get a free agent running back for cheap.
You know what's funny,
that's
Darlene,
ready to start.
Is people will say you can get great offensive linemen in the third round. We got Connor Williams in the second, and we got Connor McGovern in the third round. We got our center in the fourth round. Do you look at those guys and say that they're great? I mean, I look at Zach Martin, who was a first-round draft pick, and say he's one of the best in football. I look at Tyron Smith, who, he was a first-round pick, and, he's with just the injury problem lately, he's been pretty good. I'll even look at Tyler Smith, who was a first-round pick, even though people said he was really a second or a third-round pick, and he graded out to be one of the best rookie tackles in football. And I dare say he's a lot better than, say, Matt Lewinsky was. He's a lot better than, say, Josh Ball was in the draft. I'm just saying, I've seen better offensive linemen that we've drafted up in the first round than I've seen us draft in the later rounds, with the exception of Terrence Steele, who we didn't draft at all. Just saying. The other point that I always find interesting is how people will go through and they will read NFL.com. They'll listen to the Mike Mayock's and all of those guys that will tell you the draft grades on this guy. He's a first rounder. This guy, he's a fourth or a fifth. You really don't know. You really don't know, because I'll tell you what.
Unless Will McClay's telling me that I don't believe none.
How about this?
If Will McClay's saying that that's their grade, then I trust Will McClay over anybody, because that guy gets it right, at least when it comes to first round talent.
Here's the thing that's kind of funny. Let's see.
When it comes to first round talent, that man gets it right.
Okay, so let's go through this exercise here for a second, okay? Because this is what I find funny, because we're going to have probably 4 quarterbacks taken before we even get up there. 4 quarterbacks. Let's just go back 2 years ago and just look real quick at where we are with quarterbacks. For example, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick. Okay, Trevor Lawrence got Jags in the playoffs. They ended up beating us. Congratulations. They got a good coach and stuff. He looked like a bust his first year, but second year, he's been pretty good.
A good coach.
He's been really good.
A good coach.
Then we got Zach Wilson, who, has been hanging out with Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
Who is literally, the number 2 pick in the draft. Okay. The number 2 pick in the draft. They want to send him to Siberia, and they're begging and pleading to get Aaron Rodgers in his $50 million contract. Not the guy. And keep in mind, the Jets a few years before had gotten Sam Darnold, another first-round pick. Okay, gotcha. Then the third pick was Trey Lance.
And he's injured.
Trey Lance, who they've all but given the job to, the Lozman out there. Trey Lance can't stay healthy. And they gave him the job. He can't even stay on the field.
Then they got Mr. Irrelevant last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Who made it to the championship round of the playoffs.
And you can go down a little further to New England, who got Mac Jones. And Mac Jones, another one of these busts. So you sit here and look at that and say, 4 quarterbacks are going to be taken in the first round.
Only
right?
one of them is actually
and
doing
only
something.
one 2 years ago is actually got a starting gig. And it looks like
Peterson.
he's okay.
With Doug Peterson.
So all of a sudden, as you go through here and look at some of the guys, what's the offensive lineman? Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green was taken by the Houston Texans, and they thought he was going to be one of the best offensive linemen in football. Dude gave up 6 sacks, right? He was rated so much higher than Tyler Smith. In fact, when Tyler Smith was drafted, he's a reach. He's a reach. Oh, man, the Cowboys, they don't know shit, man. That's what people said. The MILF Hunter. Yeah. That's right, Twiz. That's exactly what he is. And so
they always
here it
say
is.
That about the Cowboys.
Well, they always do
Was
that.
it Zach Martin or Travis Frederick?
With Travis Frederick, they laughed at us.
Let's talk about the one where they said, "Oh, you should get Johnny Manziel that year." And
that was Zach Martin.
Yeah, they were laughing at us.
Yeah, the Cowboys, man, they took a guard. They should have had Johnny Manziel, the heir apparent to. Oh lordy, yeah, but here it is. But here it is. Boom. Yeah, Micah worked out with Bijan, but Mike is not the one doing the drafting.
Exactly.
Okay? He's not the one making the calls. I just don't look at I believe that Bijan is Lady Libra. What's up, Lady Libra? I believe he is just the distraction. Okay? I believe he's probably going to be gone before he gets to us, but I look at this and say everything that we do points in a different direction.
We're good at
than
running back.
Drafting a running back.
We're good at running
Tony
back.
Pollard, we begged for having Tony Pollard be the featured guy. We finally get that, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, let's go get Bijan." What the hell?
That's because that's what the talking heads are talking about. That's what people believe what the talking heads saying all the time.
Well,
can take numbers and skew them any
that's all
any
talking
way
heads
we
are talking about
want.
is
We often
Bijan.
can take numbers and
I guess.
narrative
But
that we
I'm sitting here
want to
thinking,
and I probably
Trent
am guilty of
Richardson.
this, can take numbers and skew them
Trent
any
Richardson.
way we want. We often can
So,
take numbers and
that's where I am with that. Now, back to wide receivers. If you go back and look at what Aaron Rodgers had there, here's a question for you guys. Looking back at the Green Bay Packers, okay, Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings and Randall Cobb and all that. What if you took out a couple of those receivers that he had and gave them a Michael Gallup on one leg, gave them a Noah Brown? Do you think the Green Bay Packers are the number one passing offense right there, and that they're winning the Super Bowl? Do you?
They couldn't even beat the Lions.
I don't see that.
Beat the Lions.
Because that's all guys in there that have had Pro Bowls in there.
They couldn't beat the Lions to make it to the playoffs.
There you go. They couldn't beat the Lions. Carolina, we don't need a running back in the first round. Pollard will impress next year.
Impress us next year. Okay.
Well, and see, the thing is I think I'm only thinking because I don't know. Nobody knows. Everything you're getting right now, understand, is speculation or somebody's thought. It's not what's coming from the Cowboys organization. The Cowboys organization is hunkering down. Their bunker mentality. They don't want people to know what they actually want to get.
Not gonna be Bijan.
Okay, because that is a spot of power. If people know what you want, then it's harder to negotiate. Okay? So that's where some of the guys in the media, will get you misinformation because, hey, you know what? Why don't you do me a little bit of favor here? We're really interested in C.J. Stroud. Why don't you tell people about that there so we can get them talking about that, and then we can go ahead and do some other business, and we'll take care. Don't what? You take that bullet for us right now, and we'll give you some good juicy stuff later on and some exclusive work because you know how much we really, really like you, and we want some.
Some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder. I, too, have been here 23 years.
23 years.
And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that...
we all want some glory holes. Yeah. So you get some misinformation out there. Okay? You don't know who they really and truly want to get. You just don't. And anybody who tells you they know exactly, we've been all over the board because we've had, the Cowboys have actually done a great job of bringing in top tier guys in the 30 visits, mid-range guys, everybody from defensive tackles to wide receivers and tight ends, cornerbacks. They've gotten the whole gambit of guys that they've just basically looked and said, we're going to take the best guy available. Gas station wine. Hey, man, the gas station, they sell some regular, they sell the Mad Dog 2020, but they also sell some decent stuff too. Don't sleep on all of it. Why stressed, Alan? Steve Avila will be a Cowboy. That would be, to me, if he's there, I could see the Cowboys doing that more than anything else. Julian Bramado, you are 100% accurate on that. You look at Barkley. Barkley's got one playoff win in his 4 years, 5 years. That's it. You can look down the line. Even, people will say, well, Reggie Bush. Yeah, well, Reggie Bush actually wasn't that great of a running back. He was better as a special teamer. And it wasn't because of Reggie Bush that they won. It wasn't like he was like a 1,500-yard rusher. He was just a cog in the wheel. And so when you look at spending that draft capital on that running back who's only going to be around for a couple of years, I don't know, man. I don't know. Uh-oh. Da-da-dunt, da-da-dunt.
Damn, Gina.
What did I delete by accident? My bad. I must have clicked on some by mistake. Uh-oh. What did you delete, Gina?
I have no idea.
Did we re-sign Turpin? I'm pretty positive we did.
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
Yeah.
Why would you get rid of Turpin? He's the best kick returner we have. They need to use him more in some of those packages.
Alan Williams, what's going on, man? Oh, college work. I often wish I never signed back for it. Oh, hey, Alan. Let me tell you, bro.
I graduated college
Let me tell you, bro. Do that work, man. Don't be me. Don't be this guy. Okay. I went to JMU and I played football and I had fun. And I finally said, you know what? Forget this, man. I don't want to study. I'm out of here. Don't end up like me without that degree, okay?
What's my degree doing for me?
Still, you got it. You can always say, I started and I finished.
Yeah, but I couldn't find a job.
Well, okay, but you got that degree. That will always be there. Okay, that will always be there. We got you.
Ooh, something.
Gifted 5 Mark Holmes memberships. Damn, Brian.
To who?
Good Lord. To Dem Boys Kicks, C. Stewart, Cowboys for Life, Suave TV. Well, I tell you what, since you've all been gifted a
Oh, and
membership.
damn Gina too, but she's already a member.
But she's already a member.
She got a free month. She got a free month. You got a free month.
Go to the community tab and in
The
there,
other four.
go to the community tab, and in there is a link to
So
what? Yeah, they get a shot
So
glass.
no. So YouTube is trying to be like Twitch.
I don't know what
That's
Twitch
what they
does.
do on Twitch. You can gift people. So
Well, you've been able to do this for a while.
I know, but that's what they've been doing.
You don't know that YouTube is basically trying to take over all social media?
I mean, Twitch is not that good to begin with. Never was.
But no, I mean that's why YouTube's doing shorts, because they're going after Instagram, Facebook stories, and TikTok.
Well, TikTok is being threatened to be shut down again. So.
Yeah, and that's why YouTube.
So, I mean, yeah.
but I don't see how they make any money on that.
I don't know. They're threatening to shut it down again, so who knows?
The only way you see ads on shorts is if you're watching on a desktop.
You're talking about the shorts.
For YouTube. And the funny thing is, people are like, yeah, I'm going to be, hey, let's do the shorts, man. I'm going, you getting like 10 cents for 1,000 views.
I made $1 on one of them.
Well, yeah, that's big money then for YouTube shorts.
That was only one, so
You're grinding. Oh man.
Hey, but shorts are good for helping you get monetized.
Well, Alan, if it makes you feel any better, the Queen is knee deep in it too, because I talked to the Queen Bella, a few weeks back, because I hadn't seen her, and I sent her a message on Twitter, and she's like, school has been kicking her ass, so she's there with you. But
I know that.
But put in that work right now. Enjoy yourself in there, because eventually you have to be, doing the job thing and all that, and playing adult.
Yeah, but
what?
I love my jobs.
Okay. I'm not saying I don't like my job either, but still, at college, oh man.
Wow.
Just before football practice, sitting out there watching all the ladies go by. Hey, Friday night, and Saturday night, the stadium parties, the stadium jams, and hanging out in the dorm and playing spades. We don't do all that stuff anymore.
And your buddy Charles Haley.
Oh man. Charles didn't like. Actually, he didn't like too many people in general. Charles would cuss your ass out in a minute.
He looked like he was about to cuss you out like a couple weekends ago.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't fear him as much as I used to back in the day. Okay, I saw him hit a guy hard enough to make him a cheerleader.
Yeah,
so
that's what
I don't know. I don't know that Charles is doing that anymore.
Well, you straightened up after you saw that.
Yeah. Queen don't want this smoke. Okay. All right. We're kind of getting sidetracked here. Term signed a 2-year contract last year. Look it up. Yeah, I was going to say he's not a free agent.
He will be next year if he doesn't resign.
Josh. So the question on the red brick house. Here's the thing about the red brick house is we're not moving from this house per se to move to the red brick house. The red brick house is, I don't even know how I got, there was no plan for me to get the red brick house. It was originally people, they were going to destroy the house, and a guy showed me the house and said, you're the guy we've been looking for because we need to save this thing.
There was a petition that got you.
Well, I got the petition kind of started with, a couple Facebook posts, and that kind of went, everybody, who had been related to it was like, yeah, save it. And the next thing I know, they're like, okay, you go save it. And that's been my main focus all along. But I have properties with, me and my wife, we have rental properties and stuff that are down there in a couple of lots. So, and my in-laws are down there too. So what we'll be doing is I will be putting a studio, so I have my equipment to be able to live stream from there and be able to have a place to stay while I'm working during the week and stuff, and also be able to have the house staved, restored, and people can see this historic house. So it's kind of like it's all encompassing. And, like with Jet being Mr. Brisket and having that, that barbecue trailer that we can have like a whole barbecue day and all that and have people come over and see the historic house. Yeah, that's right. The red brick barbecue. That's what we'll call it. So that's what we'll be doing. Eventually, what we will do is we hope to be able to find about 40 acres of land and build our final house and build like some cottages to go with it.
Like your transition.
So like when Game Time Brian came down here, or when Randy Seitz came for the game, or like when DMV and all that you can come for the weekend and you'll be able to stay in the cottage, hang out with us and eat chicken wings and barbecue and everything else, see the workshop, get a piece made or whatever, and have that whole football getaway with the guys. That would be the thing to do. Brother, you all have invested time and money, and y'all are blessed, Mark. Well, thank you, Josh. Mostly time, we've invested more of our time is the only reason why we're able to do it. Is because I can do the plumbing, Mike can do the electric, and do the framing and stuff like that.
Thanks to this guy right here.
If we had to contract out we couldn't afford to do that.
Yeah.
So that's where we're fortunate that we're skilled. If Robinson is at 26, Dallas will take him, no doubt about it. I don't know about that.
Is there somebody better that could be there?
I'm just saying, I don't know. Everybody said that we were going to get Johnny Manziel, but we didn't go for that. And
we traded. I think we traded back and got.
No, we didn't trade back with Zach. No, that was Travis Frederick that we traded back with. Travis Frederick, and we ended up getting a 3rd-round pick, which was Terrence Williams. Not a great receiver, but he was a starter for us for several years.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, until he got in trouble.
Yeah, well, okay, but still, but basically, you got him for free because you traded back.
Now, would you be okay if we traded back?
If we traded back and we got Darnell Washington and we got an offensive lineman, hell yeah, yeah. I'd be okay with that. And the thing is like I was saying, people will go by the draft grades out there. Oh. But there's so many busts that happen. There's so many guys out there that you look and say, oh, they're going to be great, Think about Josh Rosen. He's the most NFL-ready quarterback out there.
Last I remember, he was on Washington's practice squad, last I remembered.
Now he's gone from there to elsewhere now.
He was on their practice squad. He wasn't even on their active roster.
And he's probably been on as many teams as Ryan Fitzpatrick by now.
Yeah, because he's been a backup.
Well, I'm with you, Gina. I can't wait for the draft. Are you going to be in Pennsylvania for the draft?
Don't tell people where I'm going.
Okay. My bad.
People don't need to know.
Okay, I just was curious. I know where I'm going to be.
I'm not going to be here.
I'm going to be in Kansas City.
Let's put it this way. I'm not going to be here.
I'm going to be there with Game Time.
I'm not going to be here.
With Prime Time. With DMV. And David Wiley.
I won't be here, though.
You can make just as much money. You make just as much money doing what? I hate school. Only liked all the people. That was me.
I hated school too.
Crazy Corvette. That was me, man. I lived a life, man. I didn't.
2.7. I'll take that.
Make City, yeah, true. You do lose the 5th-year option if you trade out of the first round. But at 26, you could be trading back just a couple of spots and still be in the first round. You just don't know. We traded back for Mike. How many places did we go back? 2?
Yeah, we traded with the Eagles that year.
Yeah, we trade back. 2 spots?
Yeah, we traded with the Eagles that year. I don't remember who the Eagles got that year, but we traded with the Eagles that year.
Yeah. Who did they get?
It wasn't Big Boy. I don't remember his name. The guy last year who got injured.
They got Devontae Smith. That's it. They got Devontae Smith.
Is it still on the team?
Yeah. Their number 2 wide receiver.
Well, then that was worth it for him.
That's one of the few wide receiver picks that they've had that have been good.
Yeah, because
And that really pissed off the Giants, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we are. Hey, Mark, do you think we can get Peter an offensive tackle? Peter, I don't know, to be quite honest with you, Devin.
You need an offensive tackle.
You're right. I did misspell lying. Okay. Yes, Devin. Is it Devin? Oh, no, I'm sorry. 300. Yes, you're right. I misspelled lying.
I think it's with the Y.
Yes. Okay. Which is why I did not do good in college.
No, it's Lying.
Okay. All right. There. I corrected it. Jeez. Okay. If you're coming here for spelling, you're at the wrong place. You're coming here for the wrong place. Game Time says he's going to be a top 10. All right. I'm going to take Game Time's word because Game Time does a lot more work on it than I do.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about any of the draft picks.
Well, I just haven't had time to work on it. I wish I had, but with the Red Brick House and trying to get that stuff together, it's
Well, that's
just
why I
been
got all these wonderful
too
other YouTubers that take value in the draft that you can watch.
true. I'm actually Mr. Tailgate myself.
So if you want some draft content, there's other YouTubers out there you can watch, like Voss Lavardi.
There you go. I'm not hogging up all of the YouTube.
Or is DMV doing draft stuff?
DMV is actually doing a lot of draft stuff.
Yeah, and DMV too.
I was hoping to actually do some work with DMV, but DMV is a very, very busy man between actually coaching, doing draft content, and everything else.
When y'all go to a draft, y'all can get plenty of content.
Oh, we ain't sleeping. We ain't sleeping. I don't know if Game Time understands that. We will not rest.
I'll be resting.
From Wednesday until Saturday, we shall not sleep, Brian.
Have fun with that. I'll be doing a lot of sleeping.
It will be a lot of energy drinks and a lot of coffee. Are you okay with that, Brian? Brian. I love him. Who are we talking about? Are you talking about me? Because we're going to be, this is a guy's trip, okay? It's not like the guys get that many trips now, okay?
I think he's talking about that player.
Oh, that guy, okay.
Player that
but no, seriously. See, the ladies get all the trips and stuff. This is a guy's trip, okay? He can play guard and play center. Build the wall. Yes, I'm good. Okay. All right. I'm just letting you know. You make sure you get your rest before you get here. Because I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be like a kid at Christmas. It's going to be fun. And watch, I'll be the first one to sleep. 10 miles down the road. Okay.
At least I don't do all the driving.
The draft is in Kansas City. Kansas City, here we come. It's going to be in Kansas City.
Middle of the country.
And Jay Tuck has been sending me the whole draft village that they're putting up and everything else. So, yeah, we're going to definitely be on it for that trip. Bring back Donovan Wilson and trading for Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore was huge for the Cowboys. Well, quietly, some people will say that the Cowboys have had an incredible offseason.
Yeah, because we didn't do anything last year.
I mean,
really.
the only knock that people have actually had on the Cowboys offseason is that we didn't re-sign Carlos Watkins. That's it. I mean, we got Hankins in the fold, even though it took a while. You brought back Donovan Wilson. You still got $13 million, and you traded a fifth for Gilmore. You traded a fifth for Brandon Cooks. You still have a fifth-round draft pick, because those were basically one of your compensatory picks in your original fifth-round pick. You got a first, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and I think a sixth and a seventh. You heard Anthony Brown might not be done in Dallas. Well, okay. Make City, I hadn't heard that one, but okay. As long as he's taking a pay cut. Damn Gina home soon. And tag Pollard. Yeah, that might be the only one that you look at and say, did we overpay for Pollard? If we draft Bijan, then you definitely overpaid for Tony Pollard.
Yeah, because basically what you're getting back for Zeke, you're paying Pollard.
Hankins has a cooking show? Oh, no, I hadn't seen that. Don't feel bad about your spelling. I didn't know how to read. Haven't went to school. My father taught me how to read. Well, shout out to you, Ronnie. You look like you're typing and spelling better than me. Mark, would you trade Dak for Mahomes and a second and first round picks if that were possible?
Oh, no.
Would I trade Dak, a second and a first round pick for Pat Mahomes?
No.
So Dak, one of my first and one of my seconds to get back Pat Mahomes.
And his crazy family, too.
Nah, man. That's too much.
And his crazy family. You get his crazy family, too.
I mean, if you're saying you're going to bring Pat Mahomes' offensive line,
I'll take that.
You're going to bring, Andy Reid. You're going to bring, Travis Kelce. Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Andy Reid's a better coach.
But see, this goes back to what I originally said about Aaron Rodgers when they won the Super Bowl. He had 4 receivers that were over 600 yards. 4 guys that were Pro Bowlers.
4.
If you put that kind of weapons in front of a quarterback, it's going to make him better. Elmatic.
What's a new member?
Another new member. I don't have the bell. You got the bell over here. Shout out to Brian SoCal for the gifting the memberships. If you go to the community tab, in there is a link in there that will take you to the Thrive site so we can get your address to send you a Jobu shot glass. So appreciate that. We are drafting O-line and running back won't be there. I agree with you, Quentin. You are 100% right. I'd take Andy Reid before Pat Mahomes. I would do that too. Wow, that's crazy. I would give Dak and 3 first-round picks if we're possible. Oh, so crazy. Would you give up Jalen Hurts and 3 first rounds for Pat Mahomes?
I wouldn't.
Would you do that? Crazy?
I don't want Patrick Mahomes' family. They're crazy.
But the problem is you still have to put talent around a guy. And, here's where it's stupid. Carolina gave up all the draft capital that they did to take the Bears' spot, right?
The Bears are loving
And we saw what the 4 quarterbacks drafted 2 years ago. There's one winner in that chicken dinner. 1 out of the 4.
Look at Carson Wentz. He's another one that the Eagles paid way too much for in the draft.
I would say Jared Goff maybe has turned around the perception now.
Because the Lions actually are actually a good
he
team.
Played well last year.
Yeah, they're a good team.
So he's had 2 good years out of his shit.
So I think the Lions overall has turned their team around. It wasn't just
well, we'll see. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to anoint them just yet.
And I'm talking about compared to where they were. They played good football last year compared to where they were.
Yeah. How many Eagles fans think letting Andy Reid go? Gary, yes, I do remember that. But it wasn't just that move, though. It was also that the Cowboys made other trades as well. Jimmy Johnson actually described that. I think it was 57 different trades. They were constantly like a conveyor belt of bringing in talent and finding guys that would work. And they found players that other teams casted out and didn't think could play, but they coached them up. That's the difference.
Nate Newton.
Lola, Miss Hot Sauce. How are you doing, Lola?
Nate Newton's a good example. Because Washington said, we don't want you. You too big. And he ended up helping us get 3 Super Bowls.
For Lola.
And I'm burning up.
There you go, Lola. That's the only way I can get it to work. I can't seem to get it to work in the Stream Deck.
You just have to convert to MP3.
Yeah. Never mentioned Dak with Aaron. I mean, ever. Steedhead 50.
Don't they have the same?
Look,
Don't they have the same agent?
I tell
They
you,
have the same agent, so it's Patrick Mahomes. All three of them had the same agent.
do we look and say that last year was a great year for Aaron Rodgers?
No,
Because
they couldn't even beat the Lions.
his completion. Okay, wait. Just hear me out for a second.
All you need to do is
He
beat the
lost one of the
Lions.
best wide receivers in football, and his completion percentage went down by 4.5%. His yards went down by 500. His TDs went down by 11. His interceptions went up by 8, and his rating went down by 20.
All you had to do is beat the Lions to make the playoffs.
And looking at those numbers, I can almost understand why the Jets are not trying to give up a number one.
I wouldn't give him.
That's not the same guy. Because I look at that and say, 2020, 121 rating. 2021, 111. 2022, 91. Now, we killed Dak for having one bad year with nobodies to throw to, but he didn't drop off 10 points every year for 3 years.
He actually won a playoff game. Y'all couldn't beat the Lions.
Am I crazy?
Y'all couldn't beat the Lions to make it to playoffs.
Am I crazy? No, I want y'all to look at this.
Y'all couldn't beat the Lions. To make the
You're
playoffs.
saying don't talk, put Aaron Rodgers. No, look. From 2020, MVP, 70.7. He drops to 68 and 64. MVP, 42.99, 41, 36. Touchdown passes, 48, 37, 26. And his interceptions, 5, 4, 12. Every statistic he's had the last 3 years has gone downhill except his interceptions.
He's getting old.
That's not the same guy.
He's old.
You got people out here that are saying, oh, you put Aaron Rodgers on this team, you're going to the Super Bowl. But I would say he had comparable wide receiving core that we had. Am I wrong?
They couldn't beat the Lions.
It couldn't beat the Lions
All
when
you
it
did was
counted.
beat the Lions just to make it to playoffs. Y'all couldn't even do that.
I'm not with you on that one.
Or that might have been just Aaron Rodgers giving up on the whole team.
Maybe that's possible, but
Against
and
the Lions.
I will say he did have guys that had a bunch of drops, but we had guys that made a bunch of drops that turned into interceptions too.
Noah Brown.
Yes. Ryan Craigie, yes. He was working out with Bijan.
That don't mean
Okay.
nothing.
Again, Micah Parsons isn't drafted.
That's so what? People do that all the time in the off season.
Dak Prescott is Mark Holmes' love child. No, he's not.
Players work out with each other all the time.
I'm just tired of just so much bullshit and hate with my quarterback. Okay.
Yeah.
I just am sorry. It's just crazy. Mark, I said ever. Strickland linebacker. Well, we brought him in for a visit too. Micah Parsons. Quentin, what is your going back in here? Yes, Empire on the decline. He lost the best wide receiver in football. And that makes a difference. But remember what they told you? Franchise quarterback, he makes up for not having guys.
But what did the best wide receiver in football do last year?
Oh, he still had a great year. The team sucked.
Exactly.
Even with Derek Carr thrown to him. So when you start saying, let's see. Still had 1,500. Here's what's crazy. He had 1,516 yards last year with Derek Carr throwing to him, 15.2 yard average. With Aaron Rodgers, he had 1,553 yards with a 12.6 average.
So he probably so
he had more touchdown passes with the Raiders than he did with Aaron Rodgers.
yeah.
So did Aaron Rodgers make Devontae Adams, or Devontae Adams helped make Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, he had a few more yards, but his average was bad. It was worse.
I'm going to go back to
worse.
saying that Aaron Rodgers has always had incredible receivers to work with.
And how come he only been
Just
to Super
us.
Bowl once in his career?
And one Super Bowl. All right. So, are we doing the drawing here? Drawing. We will give away, because we didn't hear back from my man.
Well, you had plenty of time to
We'll do another drawing here.
you had plenty of time to get back to us. So
Okay. All right. Let's see. Round and round, Michael goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Impotent brain. Damn. Rhonda. Man. Jay Smooth. Jay Smooth. You are the winner tonight. Jay Smooth. Jay, email us at cowboysmark94 so we can get you one of our lovely, lovely prints. All right, good people. It is time to grab your shot glass. I got to get up here early in the morning and get down the road. But we will be taking care of business with the Dallas Cowboys. Any news that pops up, we of course will bring it to you.
probably mostly
And
draft
this is the
news.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to really bust a hump this week, get as much stuff done so that way the week of the draft that we can just be focused from Monday on to what?
no, we're good.
Oh, you're like, oh, I like that. Eddie!
Bust a hump the next 2
Eddie!
weeks.
My cousin Eddie! How are you doing, Eddie? All right, so get your shot glass ready, people. Go. as always, thank you, everybody. And you ain't got to go home, but you got to turn out the lights because this party's over.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over.